They want me to build up here. Interesting. Why? Stone? Deer. Oop, no, 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 no. Don't go anywhere. Okay. So it's smarter than I thought. They want me to go over here and build over here, which is exactly what I'm going to do. You never want to build... This game actually keeps you from building another city within 4 squares of another, which at times can be irritating, but also stops you from... Shut up, phone. Stops you from doing stupid shit, like building cities next to each other. So I am going to actually risk this settler. Normally I would not, normally you don't want to send any unit that has a triangular symbol like this. You'll see the triangular symbols. These are for units that are generally undefended, whereas units that have offensive and defensive capabilities have these circle icons. Normally I wouldn't run him out here, but screw it, YOLO. That's a joke. I would never actually say that. And I'm going to try and build right over here, because there are silks right here. I see wines right here. I don't know what's over here, but you know what? It's an adventure. And then next turn I'm going to use this. I'm going to build this guy here. So what do I want to research? I think I'm often a good thing to go for is bronze working and iron working. Now, as much as you may want to play this game as a pacifist, it's not going to happen. If you ever try it, you will get screwed, and you'll get screwed extra hard when you try to play as a pacifist, because that will invariably be the game when all of your enemies decide that they're going to be warmongering fucktards and just fuck your shit up from day one. So don't ever go all up in the arts and shit and then not have any defensive capabilities, because you will regret it. So I'm actually going to go for masonry, because that'll allow me to build walls and... Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay, so normally masonry gives the ability to build the walls improvement, but for Babylon, who for the Babylonians, who I should note I've never played as before, gives you this special version of walls, which is Walls of Babylon, gives you extra shit. So I'm going to go for that. And then I think I'm actually going to... I'm going to queue up bronze working, and then... Let's do the wheel, because that'll get me the water mill. And since I'm on a river, the water mill will get me extra food faster and allow me to build... my cities to grow faster early game, which will allow me to rush things later. So I've discovered writing, and I know about the great person. Next turn. So, now it's the next turn, and my great scientist is asking, what to do, and I'm going to have him build an academy. So, this is the command here, and it says, once I build this, it'll give the site +8 to science. So, I should note, and I do want everybody to note this, when you can only have one type of improvement on a tile at a time. So as you see over here, the worker has built a farm over here. You can see it says improvement farm. If I build a research academy here, they can't build anything else without removing the research academy, and then I can't get the research academy back. So I am sacrificing the potential extra gold or extra food or extra whatever you call it, resource output here, but it's a plains, it's nothing special, so I'm gonna build it. So now all of a sudden this area gives me an extra 8 science per turn if it's being worked, which it is. Yay. And I wasn't watching up here, but you can always go back in the video and watch, and you'll see that this number actually probably decreased because I'm getting more science per turn now. So yeah. Oh, and then my settler wants to know where to go, and I'm gonna send them over here. Whoop! Don't rush. Don't rush. Come on, computer. So I'm not seeing any imminent threats that I need to run away from here. I told you to heal, didn't I? I guess not. Alright, I'm going to tell them to fortify until healed, which will wake them up when they're fully healed, and then they'll ask me what to do then. And let's move again. Let's move along. One of the things you should note is if you move along low areas like plains and grasslands and forest, I think you normally have a 1 square range for, or a 1 square vision for most units, whereas if you move along hills, generally you get an extra vision bonus. So you can see, I can see all the way over here, where normally I'd only be able to see the immediate squares around me. So that's actually good to see. So, well, it's not good to see, I should say. It's good to know that that's there, so I can keep an eye on it as I'm moving my settler, so as not to get royally screwed. And keep going. Now, if I was playing this with Raging Barbarians, I would never send this out here, because there'd just be guys flowing out of here to, like, capture them. And I don't want that. You might understand, or it might make sense why. Alright, so that looks like that's a coastline, which means there's ocean out here. So despite what they're well, I don't know. I would go up here because it does have some nice resources. It has 2 resources of stone, some furs, and a lot of deer around here. But this is tundra, which is not very nice terrain. I mean, look, all it gives is one food. It's barely enough to survive, and there aren't a lot of improvements you can make to it. So this is not really an optimal place to put a... It's not really an optimal place to put a coastal city, just because, you know, it's going to be hard to sustain itself. Later in the game, it's not a bad place to build because you can build technologies that'll help you survive. I would like to get a coastal city, but I can't see over there, and I kind of don't want to leave a city all by itself over here without, you know, some kind of connection. So I think I'm gonna build somewhere around. I'll build somewhere around here, because I'm gonna build this guy like here or there, and that's kind of a far distance. And I don't want them to be too spaced out. So I'm gonna go up this way. Now you can plan out movements in advance. I don't recommend it necessarily. I used to do it all the time in Civ 3. But it can screw you over because often units will keep moving even if a threat. Sorry about that. Even if there's an imminent threat to their livelihood. So there'll be a barbarian encampment, and they'll just say, "Oh, I don't know, let's keep moving," and you'll forget that it's there, and suddenly you'll be missing a couple of units. So you don't really want to plan too far in advance. Maybe a few turns if you've got a pretty good idea of what's going on, or if you don't really mind losing the unit. But generally speaking, I don't know, use your judgment, I guess. So now, because I have researched writing, I can now build a library, or the Great Library. I'm actually going to do the Great Library and hope that nobody's building it. So the Great Library is an example of a wonder of the world. Uh, it's not. It's something that can only be built once in one city, uh, and can only be built by one civilization. So whoever builds it first gets it, and if somebody else was building it at the same time, they're shit out of luck. They just lose all of that production. So I'm hoping that nobody else is building it at the same time. I'm actually going to save right now. Just in case, because I'm a cheater like that. Just so that if it does turn out that somebody else is building it, I could always go back. Anyway. Let's see. Sorry. I've been awake for 26 hours now, so yeah, that's fun. Anyway, actually it doesn't want, it just wants the next turn to go. Alright. So, let's get this guy. Actually, let's deal with this one first, because I think I'm gonna build here. And so this guy I probably want up this direction. Alright. So I'm gonna build and fire on enemies. Another funny thing is, if I had built here, it would automatically disband the camp because the camp would be within my borders. So that's kind of amusing. And actually, that looks like a great place to build. So I'm going to build my... Whoop! Oh, okay. Those are more Polynesian scouts. The Polynesians have a bonus on... in the very early game because they can basically send units over water from day one, which most other people can't for a few thousand years, which is pretty nice for certain things. So I've now discovered masonry, and it's now gone to work on bronze working, and it's asking me for a construction project. So what shall I build? Monuments are good early game. It's always good to build stuff. It's always good to build buildings whenever you can, especially in the early game, because in the very, very early game, say the first 2,000 years or so, you don't need a lot of units, at least in my opinion. It's better to build up your infrastructure so that you have, a burgeoning economy when you need it to crank out a bunch of dudes. So we're going to build a monument so that my borders spread and I have more access to stuff. My other thought might be to build the walls, just because it would give me a defensive bonus, but it's already at 13. I'm not really too worried about it, and there's literally nobody else out here except for me and the barbarians and some Polynesian scouts who I could... Well, like, I was going to say I can murder, but I've only got my spearman, and he's not in great shape, so whatever. Anyway, so the next turn, fire upon an enemy. Papa! And I'm going to build my new city, Kurigalzu. Kurigalzu. That sounds like something in a Lord of the Rings. Seriously. Anyway, and then it's telling me that I have another guy over here. Oh, they captured my worker. You dumb fucks. Normally workers, when there are barbarians in the area, will hide in the city. But apparently this worker is too dumb. Just literally too dumb to live. So he's been captured. But once I kill the barbarians, I can get my worker back. Well, I guess maybe I'll build a warrior then, so I can go get that shit back. And now, because of that shrine that I built in Babylon, I have developed enough faith to found a pantheon, which is the precursor to a religion. This is a new feature in Gods and Kings that... Man, I'm going to have to take a nap. That allows you to create a religion that gives you bonuses based on different things. So, let's see here. What do I want? Fertility rights is a really nice one to get early because you get, well, let's just make it a secret. Your guys, they like to screw a lot. So you get some faster city growth. There's a couple other ones that are really nice to have. A lot of these are sort of specific to your setting. Faith from quarries, only if I had started up here and like my first city was here, and I had 2 quarries, then maybe. There's also like one for faith for tundra tiles without a forest, blah blah blah, that kind of specific stuff. But I tend to go, at least for the first founding ones, for one of a few. And I think in this case I'm just gonna go with fertility rights, because screwing is good. I didn't say that. But yeah, hopefully my cities will have a growing populace.